You. Oh, look at that handsome devil. Your office is like the opposite of mine. Mine is like sterile, and yours is warm and cozy. You know, up in Michigan on those cold nights. I'm sure that
gotta have it. Gotta have it. One days. By the way, there's stuff in the background. If our team doesn't see it, happy birthday this weekend.
Thank you, thank you. I have a big birthday coming up. I've been blessed with some fantastic gifts already. Check this out, Jimmy. This is a pop-up card that Elle had made for me on Etsy.
That's badass.
Oh my God, it's hilarious, dude. Like a bobblehead.
Oh my God.
Is that not funny as all get up?
That one stays around for a while.
Yeah, I thought I'd keep that as a show prop today as we get into it. Okay, so lots of good stuff going on. One of the things that we talked about last week that we touched on, but we didn't dive into it as much. And I think today we'll actually pull up like the actual business assessment. So if you guys don't know, we've been talking about different aspects of business. And if you understand almost like the order that we've been going in, it's the same order that we follow when we do what we call a business assessment. So I've consulted for hundreds, if not thousands of businesses. And one of the things, I do is I do a business assessment, and anybody that's watching this, you can do your own business assessment. We'll get you guys a link, and it's online. You can do it. It's actually set up as like a Google form. You go and you basically, it's like, yes, no, not applicable. And you just blow through it. It's like a 5-minute drill, but in 5 minutes, you'll have a way better understanding of what you have going well in your business. And then you'll have a bunch of ideas on things that you could improve. And just by doing the business assessment alone, you will pick up on many, many things that you may have thought in your life about, I should do that in business. God, wouldn't that be neat? So I guarantee you'll come away with it, probably with a to-do list for yourself of cool items that you want to work on. So I'm going to pull up Jimmy for us. As I work off of these two massive monitors, I'm like looking across the room, I think. But I would just want to pull up the assessment, and then we'll let folks take a look at it. So we've been following the cadence. So we started with people, right? I always talk about the pillars of success, and people is always the first one. So we talked a bit about people. We've been covering operations. We've been mixing them. We started to move into marketing, and we were, at the end of our last show, we threw out, 5 or 10 just rock solid ideas around different things you can and should be doing in your business. And this week, I want to take it a little bit further and get into more of the marketing stuff. So I think that's like one of the things that always people ask me about is, like, what do you do for marketing, right? What's the old adage? Bornamann used to say, 50% of my marketing works and 50% of it doesn't. If I could only figure out the 50% that didn't, I could stop it.
Right.
It's like people ask me all the time, what do you think is the key? And the reality is there's lots of different things, and you have to throw a lot of shit on the wall and see what sticks.
And you and I call it stacking. We have to stack this upon this, upon this, upon this, overlap a little bit of this one. But at the end, we just got to see what hits the wall and sticks, as you say.
Yeah. And sometimes, I'm a big direct marketer, so I believe in direct mail. I believe in direct response copy. The other day in my own office, they showed me it was going to be a magnet, and it was essentially like a business card equivalent. It's like business card size, business card information, right? Logo first, which is like, everybody wants to put their logo up in top. The only person that cares about your logo is you.
Right. And I suppose,
that top section of anything, it should be, it should be your headline. It should be your call to action. So, when people ask me about it, I always lean towards direct response marketing. I go, I think what you're showing me is great. I like it in theory, but the reality is that I would much rather see, something with some ad copy on it. You know what I mean? Like, where's the ad copy? So, okay, let's pull this up, Jimmy. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, the share screen magic. Okay, Can you see that puppy, Jimmy?
I can, baby.
Okay, we can make it much, much, much bigger. So we're gonna zoom in. Crazy town, okay? So that's not a bad view for folks. So if you guys ever hear me, we talk about the pillars of success. So it's funny because the pillars change a little bit, depends on what you're trying to support, I guess. But the basics are people, operations, service, you have marketing, you have management, and then you have financials. The only other one that I throw in there is sales, right? Because sales can be its own pillar. And in some cases, you have sales, like a restaurant. I usually don't talk about that, but restaurants have sales too, right? Go sell some catering, go get some more stuff going on. So there should be a sales, they're selling in a restaurant. It just happens at the table with the people in front of you. It's a lot of work was done to get those people to stand there in front of you. So, I don't talk about it as much on that side, but at any other organization, you should have a sales function in some way. And sales can be, that interaction that happens, when you actually talk to a customer. It's usually where it happens. Sometimes it's digital, but the sales column should have, it has what we call suspects, people that you think or hope would do business with you. And then you got to qualify them, right? So you start doing things to have them engage. So they become prospects, right? Prospect one in our world is they actually did something. They clicked, they called us, they said hi, whatever it is, they're breathing and they're no longer, distant. Right. Prospect two is they've actually taken a decisive action. And now it's time to actually, talk to them about what they need or want. And that's when you're figuring out if they're going to be what we call an opportunity. Opportunity is a prospective new client, a prospective new building that we're selling, whatever we're doing, but everybody moves through the same thing, the opportunity. And then really from opportunity, the thing you're trying to do is you're going to have some type of presentation. You're trying to figure out, are they going to close or are they going off the list? So
that's simple.
And then they're in closing. If you can move them past the ad, then they're in closing. And there's some steps there. And the better and easier you can make it, the better off you're going to be. Like right now with, us and, selling into new locations, we have a brand new proposal that we're using. So it's basically a template, same stuff you say, but in writing that we can very quickly edit, send it over, looks fancy, looks professional, and it gives them everything they need to know. And we get them to ink their letter of intent to continue. And from there, we go get insurance and all those kinds of things. So that's literally it. And then once they become, they do that first transaction, they're a customer. And it's not a term I like to use, but it's a term that people are familiar with. They're a customer. But the reality is if you get them to transact more and they're recurring, they're now what we call a client. So there's somebody that we interact with on a regular basis. We expect them to be with us for a very long time. They get treated differently, right? And everybody gets treated differently, but those are folks that have either spent money or are looking to do something with us, and we nurture a relationship. So that whole thing, if you've ever heard me say it, most people look, for a customer to get a sale, I look for a sale to get a customer for life. And that's like the one thing, it's not about making $50 today. It's about the lifetime value of that person. So these are all kind of fundamental marketing things. So as we go through, so I'm going to quickly go through the one side, but if you guys haven't seen any of these other episodes, my suggestion would be to go back and actually, go find them. They're all posted. They're on YouTube. They're different places. We've been running through these for the past, month or two. But, we first talked about hiring, right? Like hiring is a huge thing that people need to do. So imagine that you got this assessment, we give you a link, you rub the assessment and you go and you literally just say, yes, no, not applicable. You crank through. But we covered hiring, right? We talked about interviewing, reference check, new hire packets, handbooks, all that kind of stuff. We talked about training, right? Having really good training, having written training. We're doing a whole thing with digital training. And if you remind me later, Jimmy, I'll show that off a little bit. We have a whole digital training portal. And this is like the power of the software that we use and that we've been developing. So if you guys aren't familiar with, Success System Hub, like when I talk, like I keep finding new ways to use that thing, Jimmy.
Right?
It's like, it's like any piece of technology. If you start to do something with it, like Jimmy and I were on a call earlier today, and I've shared a couple times on these about linking, right? So I have Google Sheets and Docs and all these different things that are linked. Well, if you know anything, I don't check my email. I do, but I get so many thousands of emails a day, and I literally have a few sets of eyeballs that kind of go through it, curate it, move things up, percolate them to the top, things that need attention. Well, they do that, and they're doing that as an alias, or I gave them the authority through Google to they can actually log in to my email. Well, if they're in there and they're logging in and they're going through a browser, every time they go into an email, there's a URL. So we figured out recently that if they're doing that and they're going through my emails and they see something that's important, they grab the URL, they go over to my organizer, and there's a list there, and they literally pop it in there, some of this, the item that needs to be done or looked at, and then they link it, like open Apple K and Control V, whatever it is, but boom, they link it. And now when I go and I'm looking at my list, it's not Post-it notes. These things drive me goddamn batty, Jimmy. And I have some on my desk, and it's like, but I killed it, and that's the way I killed it, was because Post-it notes, what happens? They get lost. You get enough of them, you stop seeing them. So I was like, no, work in my organizer, put my items in there, and just put a link, and then I don't have to go, and it's like, I get a Post-it note that says, oh, take a look at this email from so-and-so. Now I got to go into my email. Now I got to go search it. In some cases, you search under somebody's name and you get 9,000 things. There's 6 different threads.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, can you just like hand walk me to it? And it's actually easier for them and me because they get a faster response and I waste less time on it. Time management is a huge, huge thing. I'll have to run our time management course again soon. But there's ways and there's things that we do all the time to like make things more efficient. And I'm telling you, like, you got to write things down. Like, now that procedure is now written into our manual already, and we literally have living, breathing manuals. The worst is you write a manual. You got this book, Jimmy. It's like this thick, right? And then like literally, it's like day one you change the thing. That manual's now outdated. We use Google Sheets or Google Docs. Everybody, like Jimmy, can go in and change the manual. I can go in and change the manual. But when we add something, we document it so that the next time it comes up. Another big one that we do is, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Loom. Okay, so we do tons of video. This is one aspect of video that we do, right? We do the Jimmy and Jonny show. Well, I use video all the time. In the owner's portal, or the training portal, there's tons of video. Well, Loom, you can record your screen. So, you just hit a little button, boom, you can do a recording. But the cool thing about Loom, other than like QuickTime, if you're a Mac person or anything else, it literally goes and it puts it on a website, and then you can take that link and share it with people. Well, now imagine that you have a book and you're trying to train an admin, administrative assistant that works with you. And you say, you show them what to do. But as you're showing them, you record that little snippet. You're done, you hit save. It says, okay, your recording's here. Well, you just grab that link, go back to this living, breathing manual and say, okay, procedure for updating organizer. Link it, done, right? They can go, if they ever forget, boom, they can go watch the video. Oh, that's right, I keep missing that step. And so everything we've been doing has been video, 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 video. And video, what is it? Video killed the radio players.
Yeah, right. Number one song on first song on you MTV.
Yeah, right. How ironic.
Yeah.
But video, we've all talked about it, but now with internet speeds improving, cameras, the camera on my phone is like better than like any camera that I grew up with, and any picture of me but before 2010 was taken. My phone has a better camera than that now today. So, like, just grab the damn thing and record stuff. You're trying to show somebody how to set up a station, record it, right? Take pictures, make a Bible, we call it. It's an ops Bible. Just go and have pictures of all that. Well, all of that stuff like gets aggregated and goes into your training. So the thing I was saying, Jimmy, about our technology, so inside of our app, Success System Hub, when you're in there, like we started using the portals. The original one was I created an interface for people to get sensitive data, and it's owners and franchisees in our businesses. So we did that. Well, the next one was like new people that are interested and becoming franchisees, we have like a franchise investor portal, and that has tons of cool stuff in it. Well, then we did the training portal. The next one now is I'm going to use it to actually train the owners of the franchises about their businesses. And I tell you, I keep finding ways to use that. And that's just one little piece in there. The other cool thing that I've done recently is I realized that anything we put out there, so if we use inside of our software, it's a CRM, it's campaigns, it's automation, it's all these, but there's like 3 things. You can do funnels, you can do websites, you can do membership sites. And the membership sites are what we refer to now as portals. It's so much more than that. Well, anything that I put on either a funnel or a web page, people can just go, and if you use like Chrome, you can right click and translate that to any language you want. So as we talk about building a brand, and I'm in the process of building an international brand or international brands. We have 2 of them today. And when we do that, it's like, wow, how much cooler is that? Like, so instead of just putting it in a document, now I just put it right on the page. Boom, they can click it. Is it perfect? Probably not, but it's a hell of a lot better than them listening to me in English when they speak French or Spanish.
Right.
And the other cool thing with video these days is there's lots of technology to add subtitles and things like that. You do subtitles in different languages. So I'm getting a lesson as I work on global expansion. I'm getting a lesson in dealing with the different cultures and how to make that easy. And I always bring that stuff back to our group.
I always giggle when I have to sit through one of our South American calls and meetings, and I'll have to have the interpreter say, okay, you handle it, just briefly come back and tell me. And they're just going on and on and on and on. If I had subtitles, man, I could at least capture it.
Yeah, it was neat today. I was doing it. So and the other thing I use is I use Google Translate a lot. So I launched a web browser and I took a whole list of services, right? I was talking to a new franchisee and I took all of our services that were in English. I went into Translator and popped it in there. And so I'm looking at it in English, and right next to it, it's all in Spanish. I mean, how much better is that for somebody when you're trying to do a Zoom call and it's like you talk and then somebody translates, right? They talk and somebody translates it back. It's brutal. I've gotten good at it. And they make jokes about me now. They tell me not to speak Spanish because they say that every time I speak Spanish, they have to translate my Spanish into Spanish.
Probably a lot of truth in that.
That's Leo's, but yeah,
a lot of truth in that.
Yeah,
and by doing that, it does show that you care and love on those folks that aren't speaking English, and that you care about what they're doing. You're not just saying, "No, pay attention to us." We actually do care about you as well. So it's
funny. The faster I go, the more I tended to bust out Spanish, and I realized, I took 3 years of Spanish honors, 100 years ago, and got it back when you use it.
My Spanish is limited to a menu at the restaurant, and it's not Spanish.
No, you're just at a Mexican restaurant.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So back to our list. So we've talked about training. We talked about retention, right? You have to, you got to give reviews, all this stuff, then productivity. And these are all tools, again, we work on all the time. There's not like one of these that it's just like done and buried forever. You always got to come back. So systems, which is really operations, everything is built on systems. So if I have these pillars, like the bedrock that pillar is pounded into is systems, because there's systems for people, there's systems for operations. So this, instead of this section in our world, it's now called systems. So, right, you got cash handling, you have things like that, schedules. We talked about schedules, like, we talked about, writing an effective schedule. And I actually do it daily. Like I look at what happened yesterday and I write next week's schedule, look at yesterday, next week's schedule. So that's what this whole pre-post schedule thing is all about. But just some back to the basics. It's whatever, I do this all the time, Jimmy. Anytime I get in a new business, anytime we buy a business that like was existing, it's like I go back to the basics, right? It's like opening checklist, closing checklist, position charts, right? Every business should have a position chart. And if you're, if you're doing service and you have a retail location, like, what are the positions, right? Walmart, there's a position chart and there says greeter on it, right? Who's up front today? How long are they going to be there? Who's going to switch them out when they break? What happens when you reduce staff? Okay, you want to save labor. We talked about this when we were talking about the scheduling. Yep. I look at sales by half hour. Well, when you do that, that positioning chart, it's now, okay, Susie, you have 10 positions. Well, when you go down to 5 people, each one of them need 2. So a positioning chart helps you understand that, visually see it. It's really cool. Production summary, any business putting out something in our world, when it comes to anything with, apps or service, it's a schedule, right? You have to have this production. A waste sheet, guy, Jimmy, oh my God, like the most underutilized tool in any business.
Yep.
Like this is again, fundamental hardcore restaurant days that make me think of the bucket, the white Lexan bucket or whatever, and that's sat by the line. And literally anytime a meal or something would like either get messed up, right? They burned a steak. They didn't just throw that steak in the garbage. That steak went in the bucket. Right. The server, rang in the wrong thing. They brought the plate out. The person's like, I asked for no pickles. Everybody wants to put pickles on stuff. The plate comes back. Right. It doesn't just go in the garbage. It doesn't go to the dishwasher to eat. It doesn't get packed up for the server to go home. Like, I never do that stuff. Right. It goes in the bucket. And what happens at the end of the night? You go through the bucket and you calculate retail value of what you wasted.
Yep.
And this is like a great one for anybody trying to control cost on product in your business. So whether it's a restaurant and you have food costs, well, if you understand at the end of the week that you threw out $1,000 in food, one, you'll be very conscious of the waste and you'll start to reduce it, right? Anything measured improves, anything measured and reported improves exponentially. So a waste bucket and a waste sheet and having to turn your waste into your superior, on a weekly basis. It's like, okay, my food cost is this. Yeah, we had $1,000 in waste. It's like, well, that explains why you're a few points off. Like you're wasting it. So
it ended up in the garbage in the dish tank, Jonathan. They had bought this magnet that went around the bag, the top of the garbage to catch shit. Well, they got smart. They were lazy. I got so mad one night at this one guy that I opened up a garbage bag in my dish tank floor. I dumped all of my garbage on the floor and I sorted through it and found 7 forks, 3 knives, 2 ramekins, and a plate, a fucking plate of all the things that he was in there. I cleaned it back up, but at the end of the day, they just threw so much stuff away, scraping it off, didn't want to reach in there because it was slimy or gooey. Like, oh, come on, guys. Anyways.
I'll tell you, I've seen in restaurants, Jimmy, where like there's a wall, there's a high part of in the kitchen, like above the window that nobody uses, right? There's like nothing there, right? So they had literally like their silverware, like a piece of everything, their china, and it had the dollar amount that it cost next to it. like every one of those. So it's like, you hear a rack of glasses go, you're like, oh yeah, rocks glasses. Oh yeah, that was about $48. Nice.
Yeah, and you got guys in the
anywhere
bar clapping and laughing. You go,
put that anywhere.
Yeah, right. Don't worry about it. But it happens in our detailing company too. Where, the towel here, a spray bottle gets snapped over there, or a top gets busted. I'm just chemicals.
Pads, right? I mean, there's pads. Use good pads for buffing and polishing. They can be expensive, and like I've seen so many places.
He needs help bringing in new customers and getting his current customers to visit more often.
I hit something on my computer. Sorry.
Yeah, that was great, Jimmy. You watching cartoons now?
I was. A new video on one of our web pages.
Yeah, the old autoplay got you, huh? So what were we saying? We were talking about
we were talking about waste.
God, I was talking about something specific though. So pads. So your pads. Well, there's a way to clean them. Like I've seen so many places they use them, and they're like, if people don't understand the value of it, they literally would like use it. It gets kind of funky, and they throw it out. No, pads can be cleaned. Like there's little things along the way, like And the other thing is that it's a big one for me, and I think you mentioned it maybe last week or whatever. We talked about inventory dollars on shelves. Yeah. Right. You can literally calculate, exactly how much inventory you should have and how far that will get you. And it's based off of par levels, right? The basic concept, back to the basics, right? Have a good order guide and have par levels, right? It's like, the par level's 3. I have 2. I must need 1. Not, I think I'm going to be busy this weekend. I'm going to stock up, 2 extra cases. And the next thing you know, you have like a product coming out your ears, and it's just wasted money sitting on a shelf that could be used in other places in your business.
I don't need 12 bottles of Jägermeister at a bar that doesn't sell Jägermeister.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh, I didn't realize it. I was afraid we didn't have it, so I ordered it. Okay, well, that's why we count things. Like before we order, we don't just like, oh God, what do we need? It's like grocery shopping. You go to the grocery store, you either buy too much or like you buy a whole bunch of crap and you get home, you're like, oh wow, we need toilet paper. Like, the one thing I really need, I didn't buy, but we have the avocados.
Lots of good avocado.
Yeah, you're like, but again, like ironically, years and years ago, I made a grocery list for my wife. And I'm now divorced, so maybe that wasn't the best plan. But
one of many on the list. Click, click,
yeah,
click.
It's like Father of the Year. They keep bronze in that trophy for all the good decisions I make for my kids. So the statue's huge, Jimmy. All the bad decisions I make. Oh, he's going down the street at 100 miles an hour with no helmet. Hey, Father of the Year.
Yeah, right.
So I made a list, and it's every item in our fridge or in our pantry. Because you ever just like, you're working, you get home, you want that thing, but it's not there. And it's, oh yeah, you can put it on the list. Well, hey, why don't we check the list before we go to the grocery store, do an inventory. She didn't dig that.
No, I don't even think my kid would like that one. Yeah.
But it works. If you have a business, you lists, checklists, inventory.
Checklist on top of checklist on top of checklist.
Yeah, checklist for your checklist. Right. So, we talk about the do grid all the time. Basically, that's what we refer to all the time as daily, weekly, monthly. But it says checked daily. It's not just have it. It's like use it. Then there's some other stuff, and then there's like quality and service stuff that we haven't touched on. One of the biggest things, and I'm literally trying to revolutionize an industry, and it's all based on speed of service. If I can deliver the product that we're delivering as fast and better than the big boy competition, I'll change the world. And we work on speed of service. It's a huge part of service, right? The time it takes to greet the table, the time it takes to recognize a guest or somebody in the room, it doesn't matter what you're doing, right? You like pick your head up, acknowledge them. Things like that matter. It's all the customer experience. And now with apps and all this, we talk about, CX, customer experience, CIE, the customer interface, all these things that like are catchy terms, but at the end of the day, it's your impression of what they think of you is what they base your customer service on. So what can you do to make it? We talk about totally outrageous service, right? I don't want to just give good service. Like good service should be expected, even though it's hard to find these days. But that's like the bare minimum. Like totally outrageous is like that when you go somewhere, and I'll use the Ritz-Carlton as an example, but they don't like, yeah, oh, where's the restroom? And they're like, yeah, it's over yonder, past the thing. Yeah, walks it. Like they're like, oh, it's right this way, and they walk you over there. It takes 2 minutes to give you like they want to bring you to the point that you are like, okay, I got this. That's good service.
It is.
Right? They could have told me where it was. I figured it out, but the difference is, they're like holding your hand. That's good service. Educating your customers is good service, right? You're an expert in whatever you do. So that if you can share that with them and you can impart that on them, one, it creates a huge value proposition for you. So now you're more valuable. You're like, wow, that guy really knows his shit. So you get a lot more value stake in what you're doing. And then they realize that, the job that you're doing for them, right? I could stay home and cook. I know how to cook. I don't need to go to a restaurant, but it's the value I get at a restaurant is I know it's going to be prepared well. I'm going to get taken care of. I don't have to do the dishes, right? All these things. So, same thing in your business. You're in the detailing business. Like educate the people about their car, their paint, how to keep it clean, so they don't have to use you so much. That's actually like a good strategy.
It is a great strategy.
They're not going to do it, so we know that. But like,
so they feel that they could. Yep.
Yeah, like give them a bottle of product. Hey, you know what? Next time, try this. Right? They don't want to do it. They want you to do it.
One little real life example of speed of service right now that's that we're also seeing, I guess is a better word. Apple. I can go buy my products from Apple direct through the Apple store, right? Or the website.
Yep.
Or I can go to Best Buy and get them. Well, if I go to the Apple store, I got all my stuff couriered over to me in 2 hours, Jonathan. Not next day, not 2 weeks from now when Best Buy decides, nothing against Best Buy guys, not what I'm saying, But my point is, Apple has figured out a way in the bigger areas that says, if you want it, you want my service, you want my quality, and you want it faster, courier it over. What's 50 more bucks to get it in my hands quicker? And now I'm talking about it, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
like,
here you are. That's good service. When you're sitting here after the fact, Jimmy, talking about it, they did something right.
Yep.
How many people, I asked the question, everybody listening, how many people are talking about your service? And I don't mean your shitty service. I mean, that happens all the time. I'm talking about like your really great service. I love. We have a whole rating system that's tied into customer comments, Jimmy. And like, you built it. It's beautiful. It pings everybody. And I'm telling you, I love reading the compliments, for our people.
We get more of those than we get the nasty stuff. That's for sure.
Fortunately, right?
Yep.
I've been in life where that wasn't always the case.
Yeah.
Streaky windows. Oh my God. If I ever got that comment again, ever in my life, I'm the best window cleaner on the planet now. It's like, forget it. I can't answer another comment about windows.
So true.
Okay. So I'll blow through these pretty quick. But this is like the core of marketing. So, and you don't see, I don't see Facebook. I don't see like a lot of that stuff on here. So, it's on here, but it's not the core of marketing. So in our world, I always look at, if I came into anybody's business, I would ask them what current brand promotion they're running. Like, you should be featuring and promoting something. When I go and, think about this as a way of, for me, if I want to go and audit one of our stores, never been there before, and I walk in the front door, I can go through this whole list and I can literally grade them on where they are on this list of like 100 things. What, you basically got a 78, and like, next time let's get a 90 or more, right? So this list works in that same thing. So LSM, customized and in effect. Jimmy, do you know what LSM is?
Local store marketing.
Home run. Ding, ding.
We also call it four walls marketing in my life. Yep.
Yeah, Jimmy calls it four walls marketing. The four walls are like literally what is the branding and imaging in your business, and in your business, are you promoting your business, right? If you have a new product, are there brochures? Do you have a newsletter? That's like, local store marketing to me is, what are we doing? If I have 30 something locations across the country, what is the unit manager in Poughkeepsie, whatever, what are they doing to actually drive the business?
Yeah, my bad.
No. You're right though. Like four walls marketing is still part of it. It's like, it's the store level marketing. So any way you want to call it, it's what's happening at like the unit level when it comes to marketing. When I say customized and in effect, like, do you have a church promotion? Everybody's got churches around them. Do you guys offer a discount to the church? Right. One of my favorites is, there's nothing better than the pastor on Sunday standing up there telling everybody to go to your damn business. As close as you get to an endorsement from God. Okay.
Right.
And we have a whole promotional packet about how to set up promotions like that. But that's like one of them. Local store marketing. What are we doing locally? What is does the tire shop down the street know that we'll clean cars? People get their cars fixed. They'd also like them to be clean. That's local store marketing. What can you do for them? Well, I go to them and say, hey, you send people to me and I'll send people to you. You have a simple little card made up, doesn't need to be expensive, can be black and white on colored cardstock. And they put one in every one of their cards, you put one in every one of yours. That's pretty good. Joint venture partner.
Yep.
Now you can ramp that up. You can take our rewards program and you can now, for every dollar that a customer spends, you can give them points. Now they'll earn, pronto bucks or whatever it is. There's like ways to really ramp these things up, but that's like the basic. You have I have a tint guy next to me. I don't do tint. Here you go. We're not competitive, but we're in the same industry. We're both touching cars. So if he's touching cars, I hope he's mentioning me. And if I'm touching cars, I'll mention him.
Yep, that's exactly true.
If you can formalize that, even better. If you can track it, absolutely even better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Timely outward.
Track it, call us. I'll teach you how to track it.
Yeah, I'll teach you how to track it. And that's like the call to action. So Jimmy had a good idea recently and he wanted to get Frisbees.
What'd I do?
You wanted to get Frisbees.
Oh, yeah. My Frisbees for the Tampa Bay thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a promotion going on here. Actually, bad customer service experience turning into a good one. We had an incident with a customer. I don't even know the details. I just heard this story third party.
Yep.
But it was handled so well by our customer care team. Kudos to them. Kelly,
Yep.
hats
Yep.
off.
Yep,
They
absolutely.
handled it so well that that person went from being like an upset, person to inviting them to participate in like a whole community-wide event where they can give away stuff and they can do raffles and have fun. And like, how awesome is that? That is like, and I always used to say that about any customer complaint. It's not really, it's an opportunity. It's an
Absolutely.
opportunity.
They just want to be heard. They just want you to know that they're not really happy.
It's an
And that they
opportunity
care
to
enough to tell you.
improve your business. Go ahead, start.
Yep. So
It's
this
an
guy's
opportunity.
letting us be in 250 homes, Jonathan.
250 homes, right? Just by good old fashioned customer service. So Jimmy had the idea of frisbees, and then we had the ideas of the magnets. And again, they show me everything under the sun, right? Everybody's got to ask, my opinion. And I looked at it, and I'm like, they're great in the sense of, marketing pieces, I guess. But I'm like, where's the offer and where's the call to action? Right. So now it became, the frisbees are like, have like a little doggy on them or something. And it's, use bark, or I don't even know what they, you'd say frisbee for, $10 off, your next service, or off of, I think it was pet hair related or something.
It was, yeah. I tried to make it a pet hair removal
Yeah.
so that at the home with your dog, your car's a mess like mine.
Yeah. So it's cute, right? Dog, frisbee, got it. Like the whole thing works. But all it needed was like, okay, like how are we going to know if the frisbee thing works? If we just gave them all away, hey, all right, we give away a bunch of frisbees. Well, now if somebody says frisbee, and all of a sudden we gave out 200 frisbees, and I've had 100 people call in and say frisbee. I don't know, that shit works.
I know that shit. Now we're the Bornamann Bailey. Now we know which half works.
Yep. Yeah, maybe maybe the magnet, and maybe in the magnet, maybe it says say magnet and get something else. Well, maybe nobody calls about the magnet, but we got a bunch of frisbees. Well, guess what? Next time I'm not doing the magnets. I'm going to double down on the frisbees.
Right.
Good. Okay, timely outward communication pieces given to every customer. So I'm like really big about this. Like you have, like, even though you've educated them, even they know you, right? Everybody's like, oh, they already know me. Like, oh, they're already my customers. But really, do they know the latest thing you've done? Right? Do they know the new thing you just created? Do they know the stuff that you're working on that actually makes them want to be and do business with you? So you have to have some outbound communication piece. And we have all kinds of like pricing slicks and things. Like we have a million little gadgets. And the latest one is we're going to like a simple trifold, really graphically image based, but it's actually promoting all the things that we have going on when it's coming to mobile and using the app. It even has a little thing in there about hiring, right? So this thing is like multi-use wrapped into one. Somebody's interested in getting a job. Here you go. Hey, you're interested in ceramics. Hey, here you go. It's the same thing, right? But it's like, you just turn it over. Hey, go there. You go here.
Yep.
And I like it like an old school, just printed piece of paper and, talking about things going on. So that's timely outbound communication. What's going on in your world, and it's given to every customer or potential customer. Menu of services, right? No matter what, you should have a menu of some sort. And it's funny because in higher level services that are especially customized, people don't necessarily have a menu, right? Like detailers out there, the high-end detailers, they don't quote pricing. Like you don't call them up and say, oh, how much is the detail? They're like, what does your car look like? Like, I don't know. That's a tough question to answer if I don't know what your vehicle looks like. It's not like there's a set price. Doesn't mean you can't have a menu of what you're going to do without prices, right? Like, and packaging is important, right? We always talk about there's like the small, medium, and like the super duper, you get everything for one low price. Well, right. There's always somebody that just wants the super duper, right? There's reasons we have, Bugattis and things like that out there that are just ridiculously expensive vehicles because people just want good shit. So you have to have a package that's always higher. It's like, what happens? Yes. Kim got suckered in. Kim's in here with us, and she got suckered into the largest iPad on the planet. It was the first one. It looked good. She was like, thank you. But again, if they didn't have that option, like they would have lost, a couple $100. But
Yeah,
they
well, that
haven't.
new iPad's stronger than some of the laptops we have in the field.
Yeah, that's what Chris was saying today. He's like, oh my God, you can use that thing more than your laptop.
Yep.
Okay, so cross-selling opportunities exist, okay, and are executed. So cross-selling, be it even your own products or other people's product. We talked about the car guy down the street and clean cars, the tint guy, that's cross-selling, but even cross-selling inside of your own brand, right? That's like another way to look at it, depending on what you're doing. If you're a restaurant, well, are you promoting catering? Like, it's like a whole different arm of your business.
Yep. Take out. Exactly.
Loyalty program offered to every customer.
I love that.
It's the gem, right? And over the years, it's become rewards to me, but loyalty is the backbone of anybody's marketing. If you are not collecting and utilizing your customers' information, and I don't mean in a bad way, but in a like, if you don't know who your customers are, how do you invite them back?
Right.
Right.
We've talked
COVID
about
happens. Everybody patterns change.
Yep.
I'm telling you, the restaurants that had good customer lists, the restaurants that kept their list of everybody that they served doing takeout during that. Well, when it starts getting busy again and people have more options and they're like, oh, I've been eating Chinese every night. Now I want to go eat Italian. Well, like, how about you hit them? And, it's like, hey, we appreciate you being here. We're having a party this weekend to celebrate, the fact that nobody gives a shit about COVID anymore.
Right.
Especially if you're in Florida. But the, whatever it is, how do you communicate to them? How do you like make that pop special? How do you take a night and like turn it up if you're not communicating? If you call it marketing because you're going on Facebook and putting a post, that is not marketing. That is socializing.
That's a waste of time.
It's social media. If you're selling products on there, different. If you have offers, which is another thing that you're an expert at, Jimmy, is put an offer out there, get people to click. Now you build lists on Facebook, right? Now you have like a whole list of people here that all touch this one thing.
It's 6 o'clock.
Well, I want to run that. I want to feature that. Let's put it in front of them. That's building lists. So no matter how you're doing it, you need to understand the technology. And when we talk about a loyalty program, we're talking about that is automation of your marketing. Loyalty can be around frequency. It can be around purchases. It can just be around, they came once and now, you want to take care of them for the rest of their lives. Loyalty is what you want to build.
So true.
Manager actively goes out and promotes business. That's like that picking your head up. That's the local store marketing. Are they like actively going out and doing it? There's not every day you need to be in that restaurant. No way. The guy goes to the bank, right? Remember you used to go to the bank, Jimmy? When you're at the bank, like, are you talking to people? Or you're saying hi? Or there's opportunity all around you. Pick your head up. Stop looking at your phone, texting your girlfriend, and like pick your head up. It's amazing what you'll see.
Oh yeah.
Upselling done at every opportunity. You have to understand upselling, and that's whether you're selling them from one product to another, or you're adding on to a product. They got this, but God, if they just added on this, it makes that so much better. Well, like, are they doing that? Is it like, do they see it? Right? Sometimes you need to see it, but the thing you need to do is you actually need to design it. You need to sit down one day and talk about this goes to this, to this, this goes to this, to this. And then you can script it and you can train it. Website, up to date and impactful. Can't tell you how many websites I go to for people that ask for my help and their website's like out of date. You go there and they got their Mother's Day special and it's August,
Right.
Like, okay, like what happens when other people go there? They're like, wow, these guys are not on top of it.
Perception is reality at that point.
Yeah, online transaction processing in place and promoted, right? What do you have that you can sell digitally? Is it digital? Like, or is there this online thing? And it doesn't matter what business you're in, you can have an online presence. And we saw it. We saw a game changer, COVID, with delivery, right? We had the Uber Eats before, we had Grubhub, but oh my God, talk about putting it on the map. We sit here in my office, we don't even think about it. It's like, oh, what do you want to get for lunch today? Oh, who's delivering? And now it's everywhere. So that's like a big one. You got to figure out ways to transact digitally any way you can. Make the payment process easier, right? Why does it have, if you still use paper invoices and people send you checks, you're jacked up. Right, send them an invoice. So click here, put in credit card. Auto schedule for next service and appointment, huge one. I have a friend who has a hair salon, asked me to help her one day, and I was talking to her, and by implementing her scheduling their next appointment the day that they're there, like, and press it. She used to, people be like, oh yeah, I'll call you tomorrow. Which, like, yeah, I get that. People tell me that all the time, but you should be here in 6 weeks. And I'm telling you, my 6-week appointment load right now is pretty packed. You might want to take a minute and get that. Otherwise, your hair is going to, it's colored and it's going to go gray, whatever.
It's gonna fall out.
Like, there was a whole thing that we did about how if she could, her revenue, okay, she could literally almost add another month of business, right? So think if you have 12 months and you now have a 13th, she could add a month of business by not letting the schedule slide. Because if they slide 2 weeks and then they're always now you're like, they're falling off the end of the calendar, right? They're just like, all these appointments are like falling off because you're shifting them. She did that. And just by that one thing, she did it pretty well before. That one thing gave her like a 12% increase in revenue in a single year, just by not letting people be squirrely and just bringing it up, putting them in there. And then for those people that said, oh yeah, I'll get back to you. She has a campaign. She sets it that I'm going to, they're going to get reminders from me every 2 days until they book that damn appointment. It's like, and it's just automation. She doesn't have to do anything. She's not calling them. It's just like the system that we have just pings them.
And we took it a step further too, Jonathan, where people would call in and they couldn't get to the phone quick enough because they were cutting hair or they were moving. We put in this lost call tracking. So it would roll over to her phone number and notify her cell phone and send them a text message. We'll be right with you. You want to schedule an appointment, click the calendar button in the text message, and that dramatically increased things as well. They couldn't get to the phone quick enough because they were busy.
They're busy, right? They're busy. They're cutting hair. They're like, they're making it happen. Well, how does that person, that solopreneur, like, you're busy washing cars every day. You got your head down and your hands in a bucket. Well, how do you grow the business, right? The biggest thing we talk about, we see people market, and then they get busy and they do operations, but then their marketing all goes to shit. Then they got to go market, and then they operate. So
yeah, one of our dry cleaners was like that, where they were so intense, and then they had to go do all the work, and then they couldn't handle the incoming calls because they were doing the work. So it's all about systems, getting it all right. But.
Yeah. So how nice is that? I mean, so I called, I didn't get you. But you also, like, I got a message back, as most people are calling from their cell phone, right? And oh wait, now we have their phone number in our marketing system. Wow, imagine that. Now you're connected with them. And then again, they might have just been calling to schedule, but now you just gave them a digital option to do it. And now all of a sudden, you don't have to be all sitting there trying to coordinate Susie and Bobby's schedule all day. You could be working on your business or cutting more hair. I don't know what it is, but there's. It helps you grow your business. Birthday program. Okay. I'm a big proponent of it. There's certain places that do it. We currently don't do one, which we should, but we're currently in the process of rolling out a bigger, badder rewards program with perks, pronto perks. Birthday is easy. It's like information you gather. And the reason we always talk about birthday is it gives you something to do every year. I'm pretty excited. I got a birthday card, right? I got a basket full of cool ass North Carolina stuff, right? Kakalaki, right? You always ask me, what's crack-a-lackin'?
What's a crack-a-lackin'?
Oh, then kakalaki. So birthday program is great. You send out a birthday card. How nice, and whether it comes from your dry cleaner, or comes from your mechanic, it's just nice, right? Hey, was thinking about you. We want to do something nice for you. Happy birthday. The anniversary is the other one. Well, the one I do for anniversaries is I send the guy a reminder of his anniversary.
Right. Right.
Now talk about being on the inside track of like the bro code, and like somebody that's like, man, I do respect that business.
Right.
Hey dude, your anniversary is next week. What are we doing? Go here and make a reservation. Why don't you get her car cleaned? Like, that would be awesome anniversary gift.
So
and then from that, if right? So if you have loyalty, you're keeping track of your customers. If you know that they haven't been in, what are you doing to get them back in after 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? some businesses, like, they don't need a service that often, but, restaurant, 30 days. Like I go to my favorite restaurant all the time. So if I'm not in a restaurant all the time, it's because it's not my favorite or they're not doing a good enough job to woo me back. But you can do all kinds of cool stuff with lost customer, but you got to have the data and you got to be able to manage it easy. And you got to be able to see that they haven't been in. Newsletter done monthly. I believe in it. Talk about the things going on in your business that you're working on and your people are doing, customer spotlights and employee spotlights. And like people are always like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to put in there. Oh my God, there's so much shit to put in there. Like, how do you not know? You have so much going on, but you can't fill a piece of paper with what you're doing to promote your business. It's not hard. Email marketing done at least 2 times a month. If you're not hitting your list, your list goes cold and then it dies.
And now we haven't on this list, but we have SMS marketing too that we're adding to this checklist because we have that capture, we have the tool, we have the technology. It's inexpensive and it's 198% open versus 12% with email. It's declining. Anyways, SMS is.
No, it's great. I mean, if you're not texting, I mean, I'm telling you, it's the only thing I pay attention to. If you're trying to get a hold of me, I suggest text me. Street marketing programs. We have all kinds of street marketing programs. It's like your local store marketing, but it's like, what are we doing to follow up on it and make sure that it's impactful, right? If you have a promotion going with an apartment complex, are you following up with them regularly? Do they have your brochure in their new move-in packet? Well, if they don't, right? Or my favorite is, oh, well, we ran out. Okay. Well, it's not their job to call you to promote your business. It's your job to call them to find out if they need more.
Yep.
But, it's like, oh, I used to get all these people from that apartment complex. Then you talk to the woman at the apartment complex. Oh yeah, we ran out of your brochures like 2 months ago. Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Quarterly promotion or LTO. Okay. So we talked about, brand promotions. You should have some type of limited time offering, or at the very least, I like longer promotions. You get more legs and bang for the ad spend and production and graphics and stuff. Have a quarterly promotion, right? We talked about sizzling the summer sweepstakes.
Yeah, and I like the short-term ones where I got to make sales tax on the 15th. Let's do a promotion the weekend before to get all the cash I need to pay my sales tax. Then they're done. That wasn't pleasant, but
It's
that's
real.
It's real.
Without a list, you can't do that, Jimmy. You can't. If you do not know your people, can't communicate to them, you can't do it. Conduct monthly marketing meeting, planning 3 months out. What a novel idea. Oh, wait, I think we have a product that does exactly that for everybody.
We do, the marketing planner, look at that.
And it came up like the marketing planner, like we didn't sit here one day and say, oh my God, like let's come up with a product to help people. It was a product that we were doing it. Like we always were 3 months ahead of our marketing. I'm like, oh my God, we do all this work to stay 3 months ahead of our marketing. Why don't we share it with other people? But that's what we do. So like in August, we're planning like October, November. Like we're not planning August. So that's the marketing planner, and we have a whole tool for it. That's like, is it in full effect? Do you have specials being run? That's kind of like having a promotion, but like, do you have specials? Like, are you actively putting things in front of people? Comments and review systems set up and monitored. I talked about the value of getting positive feedback. There's value in getting negative feedback, right? It tells you what not to do and what to fix. But you have to, like today, reputation is what people buy from, right? How many times have you looked on like Amazon and it's like, ooh, that doesn't have good rating. I'm not going to buy that. Well, it could be a piece of crap with good reviews and you would buy it.
Yeah,
so like make sure that you're collecting them and you can sort through and promote them any way you want.
Yep. I'm heading to Tampa this weekend and I don't know where I'm going. It's all about reviews.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you do? Yeah. You go to book a hotel. It's like, ooh, I'm going to stay at the 4.3 that says
got a nice picture, but terrible reviews.
It was cleaned once. We're going to stay at the 9.0 superior, super clean, extra friendly staff.
Yep.
Yeah, got it. Especially if they're the same price. Oh yeah, not even a question. So that's really important of it. And one of the things I was about to say is, so through our reputation success and through social success, you can actually monitor, you can take your reviews and then you actually can flip them and post them instantaneously onto other social media. So if you guys ever see stuff like on Facebook, you see a Google review, well, that's literally like a click of a button to share it. And that's like, what a great way to take a good review and then put it in front of a whole different audience. So we have technology for that as well. Has everyone had sales training? right? If we're selling stuff in this business, I don't care who you are, whether you're washing the pots and pans or you're working the front door. I think everybody in the business needs to have sales training. Here's why. It's not that they're frontline selling. It's what happens when they're not at work, right? When they're not at work, if they don't have sales training, they tell people what they think or want or what they took from your business. If you've actually given them sales training, when somebody asks them about what they do, they actually have like a leg up, and so you're essentially, not only is it just everybody should have good sales training, it leads to good service, but now you're also promoting the right way to promote your business to everyone in your organization from top to bottom. There they are, Jimmy, the social media accounts. Are they set up?
Are they connected?
It is one line of a whole bunch on here. Yeah, is it connected? Like in our world, it's connection. It's we have them, and then we use them to take all these other cool things that we're doing. It's just it's like putting something in the newspaper. It's another form of media. That's all it is. So, right, there's three parts to marketing, right? There's message, media, and the market, right? The people. Well, social media is just that. It is media. It's just a way to communicate the message. It is not your marketing. The marketing is the three of them together.
Yep. Amen.
Top 100 clients defined. One of my favorite things. And Jimmy has delivered me my top 100 clients list. So, do you know who the top 100 people are? And sometimes it surprises.
And by spend, Jonathan, we can find out who the most spenders and the guys that don't spend a lot, but they come to you a lot. Those are the ones I want the most. A guy that comes 7 times and spends $500, or a guy that comes twice and spends $1,200. I want the 7. You know what I mean? I want to have for
life.
Yep.
And that guy's frequency multiplied out, right? Lifetime value.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you have your 100 clients, top 100 clients defined, who are the next dream 100? And I'll tell you, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. It looks a lot like the other 100. So if I got these 100 and I can get some information about them, then I can start to target my dream 100. Okay. And that could be the big fish that you're going for. But the dream 100 is a different list, but they usually, surprisingly, are very similar to your top 100. Sales scripts defined. Okay. Like I get your selling, but like, is there a process and a form and a flow and what we say? And then do you have objection training? Because there's always objections in sales. And is it the scripting is defined? That's step one. The next is, are you training them on it? Like, are you pushing it all the time? Are you role playing? You ever walk in your office and say, hey, sell me that?
Oh yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah, like we sell that, right? Sell me, you sell me. Yep. What a great term people on their head. They're like, the dog, they're like, yeah. You create a culture that, like, every location I go to, it's like, sell me, sell me, sell me. If they know it, then they get good because they don't want to get caught off guard.
It's so uncomfortable too when you get caught. Yeah.
Yeah. So marketing is a hell of a lot more than social media and Facebook. I get that they're effective, but there's a lot of things that are fundamental that need to live in the background when you do these things that actually make the social media stuff easier. If you ever sit there and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to post? I got to come up with a post today. Oh my God, a post today. I got like 9,000 things going on that I'd be happy to talk about. And literally it's like, get the camera, shoot me. Okay, say something about this. Okay, here I go.
Done. Yep. Post it.
Boom, out the door. So anyway, I just wanted to share that as we're kind of plugging through the pillars. I decided to go with the list today, Jim.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Keeps us on track, right? It's a checklist. We didn't miss anything.
No, and I got to tell you, I'm still over here making notes, and I live and breathe this every day. Going, oops, a little shy on that one. Oops, a little shy on that one.
Yeah, I'm telling you, even the best. I mean, if you go through the assessment and you get like 80 or above, you're crushing it. There's a lot to do to really be truly successful and scale your business. And this assessment, we'll put a link out there to everybody. Like,
actually, I built one today, Jonathan, at Success Systems Hub /JJ show, Jimmy and Johnny show. That'll be live tonight.
Beauty, mate. Yeah, so check it out. You got links, you got the assessment, and I actually offer, if you want to do this assessment and then actually have me talk to you about your business, I actually love doing that. I've made some of the best friends in my entire world by just helping people. So I love doing it. And sometimes you just need somebody to help you break through, something that you just don't see. You don't see all your opportunities. And I see a lot of people drowned in opportunity by selecting the wrong ones.
So they get stuck with too many opportunities. And on that page, there is a way for us to schedule time with either one of us. So.
Perfect. Let's see who gets more clicks, Jimmy. Okay, so that's it, Jimmy. I got to run. I got a dart match coming up.
I was going to say it's a birthday weekend.
A year and a half. I got birthday stuff. I'm a size large. I'm a 44 jacket. 34
Nice.
waist, 32 length pants, and a size 12 shoe.
There you go. And
get me anything you'd like.
I got cigars coming your way, baby.
Oh God, that's it. That's our one vice.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. It is. Well,
one
enjoy the race. Yes, not you have more than one.
Hey Jimmy, I'm playing darts tonight. I haven't played darts like organized in like a year and a half easily.
Is it a new league that started up, dude, or just?
No, it's same. They just COVID. You can't have a bunch of people crowded doing stuff. So it went away to be safe, and now this is the first week it's back.
Well, congratulations!
All the old boys, all the boys.
Well, I know it's a passion of yours, so enjoy it, have fun, and I will see you in the morning.
Dude, love you, appreciate you, love everybody that tunes in. Let us know if you have any questions or comments. We're here to help.
All right, peace out.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.